There
Oh,
we
yeah.
are. Okay, everybody, I'm so glad you are all here. My name is Nikki. I am your nutritional gardener, and I am here to help you grow your health from the ground up. And I do this by teaching you ways to grow nutrient-dense food, and that way it can provide you the nutrition you need to live your best life. So tonight, I'm super excited because we have Kacy here. She is an Ayurvedic practitioner. I always say that word wrong. I hope I got it right. A dental hygienist and also a yoga teacher. She is going to share with us her knowledge about transforming into spring and how to do an Ayurvedic cleanse. So I am super excited about this show. So Kacy, give me a little bit of your background about yourself and then explain to us exactly what Ayurvedic is or
Uh,
Ayurveda is.
all right. Well, thanks for the introduction. I'm Kacy Mugrage, and this is my daughter Shay.
Okay.
And so Ayurveda, the word, it's two words or two word root words. Ayur means life, and Veda means knowledge. So it's basically like the study of life, the study of uh, all the biological things that are going on. We really pay attention to like the cycles and seasons. So just like watching the weather and seeing like what's going on around us and also within us. And so we'll get into the cleanse. Ayurveda is like a 5,000-year-old science that comes from India. And it could be even older than 5,000 years. 5,000 years, it's been recorded in texts and things, but it can go back as far as 10,000 years by word of mouth. So they've got a pretty good system. They've got it all written down. And I like studying Ayurveda, I got into like world medicine and stuff. And there's like everywhere in the world has this different medicines from where they come from. And it's all about like watching the seasons, using plants and food, spices and things local to you, and also, trading it all over the world. So it's pretty interesting, like Chinese medicine and all that. It's pretty interesting once you get into all that, see how we can use it now. My goal is to make it more practical so we can use it in our everyday life. And that's really what it is. It's just like little changes in your life, little daily practices that you can do, like drinking the tea, the herbal teas and stuff. That's one of the best things you can do. So yeah, we're watching cycles like as the seasons change. Right now, we're actually in late winter that begins in February. So we had this early winter from about like October-ish, January, and that's early winter. So that starts with fall, like all the leaves dry up, fall off the trees. That's when everything gets really dry. So when it's early winter like that, you want to combat like anything that's going on, like the dry and light, airy. You want to balance it with the opposite. So like heavy, moist, warm. So you want to have in early winter lots of like soups and stews and dense foods, bone broth, root vegetables, things like that. And now we're going into late winter. It's still cold and everything, and it's starting to get there's starting to be like a lot more moisture and heaviness. So there's a lot of like always like snow and stuff on the ground, and everything's real, it's soggy. And as it warms up into spring, things get even more moist and things start to stir beneath the soil and things start to warm up because now we're getting to where the sun is out for longer. So we just kind of watch what's going on around us as things change. There's no really set day that spring really, the equinox is like March 21st around in there, but you kind of just watch and see when things start warming up. I like to think of it like they gave us this analogy as uh, like creeks and river, how they get all cold and icy and everything like freezes up. That kind of happens in our body. Things like get all stagnant. And then as the sun starts to melt things, it starts to flow more. And like we're going to be talking about the cleanse, right? And that is really just working on supporting your digestion because your body does the detoxing on its own. It like gets rid of all these toxins and stuff. Things start to melt, and we're just supporting it with herbs and diet by helping it move. So when it's in the winter like this, we're still wanting to have the soups and stews and stuff, but now that we're in later winter, we can start to lighten things up just a little bit. So your soups and stews, you want to have warm meals. but you can start to lighten it up by like making it more brothy, more liquidy than thick. You can put uh, bitter greens and stuff. You'll start to see the first signs of spring are all these bitter greens and uh, like different things like arugula and spinach and all those bitter things like that are really good for detoxing. So those like nature shows us when we can start to transition and what we need to add to our diets. So the cleanse itself, I like leading people through this. The past few years, I've been doing like a Facebook group where I'll have like a bunch of people in and we'll just do like a cleanse together that's kind of like a blanket cleanse where we're all kind of doing the same thing. But I like most of all working one-on-one with people because we're all different, like the way our bodies are made up. Some like certain herbs or spices might be better for some than others. So I really want to kind of get into that a little more. I still like doing the group cleanses. I'll try to figure out come March, I'll probably do either a group cleanse or just one-on-one, but trying to figure out which direction I want to take this time. But
And
around
you put in your website and everything in the chat. And is that where you want people to come for your one-on-ones? Is your website, or would you rather them contact you?
Facebook for now. So like
Okay.
just talking to me through Facebook. Yeah, just contacting me. I plan to like this is my little marketing coach over here, so we'll figure out some ways to get the word out, but really it's just like, friends and family and word of mouth and really fall and spring are a good time to do cleanses, but really spring is the best because like we have all this heaviness from the weather that's going on around us. It's the same within us. It's like this heavy denseness, and we want to start to lighten things up, and our body just naturally lets it go anyways. But when you're supporting it with these kind of food and the diet that you'll do, the body does the work. You're just supporting it.
So it
And
sounds like it kind of goes along with eating with the seasons. You know,
yes,
that's basically kind of what it sounds like is you flow with the seasons as they flow. Is that
absolutely. That's what I love
okay?
about it. And I like living here because we have the four seasons, and it is different in other places, but yeah, I really enjoy adding the gardening and just using what's out my back door. But okay, so for the cleanse, you can get a hold of me on Facebook or whatever messenger. We'll just have a conversation, and when I'm working one-on-one with someone, I would have them set up appointments where it's like this first conversation I have with you is just an introduction to see, what you want to do, how long you want to work with me, what your goals are. And then the first session would be a 90-minute talk. So we are talking all about your history, like any kind of issues you have, what goals you want to work on, but we're taking in your entire health history and working from that. And, everybody's different. I figure out what your personal dosha is, so we work with that. There are like dosha quizzes and things online, so you can figure out what your personal constitution is. I can like Banyan Botanicals is a website that people can get on and just do a dosha quiz. And what that tells you is like what your body type is. It tells you, well, whether you're Vata, Pitta, Kapha. And we'll talk more about that if we have a one-on-one talk. And I won't get too deep into that because it's a little bit dense of material. But anyways, we would do a 90-minute call and figure out what your goals are, and then I would give you recommendations, all just like lifestyle, diet, any herbs I think might benefit you, and then you would do that for a while. Then we would check back in a couple weeks, and then just go from there. And I usually have people will do that appointment, and then I usually set up 3 follow-up calls just so we can see, how you progress and what kind of support you need. And then if anyone wants to do the cleansing, I'm going to actually just let people know how to do it because I would like people just to get started on their own. You don't have to have an Ayurvedic practitioner coach to
Okay. Okay.
do it. What's that? Oh, I think it was somebody's microphone. I thought somebody had a question, maybe not. But the cleanse, I'll go ahead and tell you guys how that goes if you're ready for that. So come when the weather starts to change a little bit, you can start to pay attention to like what you're eating. Just pay attention to how how you eat, when you eat. It's important to know what times you're eating, but that's really important when we do Ayurvedic cleanses and really in your daily life, you should be doing breakfast, lunch, and dinner at around the same times every day. Your breakfast, you want it to be like light, one of the smaller meals, but you want to have a lot of good nutrients in it. And then at lunchtime, around between 11 and 1 is the best time to eat lunch, around noon, because the sun is the highest in the sky. So that solar energy actually helps you digest your food. So that's why it's the peak time to eat your bigger meal. You can digest it most efficiently. And then your dinner, you want it to be a little smaller, not as heavy. You want to always have it before dark. It's good to always eat before dark because if you're eating too late at night, then your body is not getting restful sleep because you're busy digesting. And we don't have that solar energy to help us digest too. So it's important to have these regular meal times, and you want to do that like leading up to the cleanse, just kind of pay attention to that. I call that the pre-cleanse. You're just kind of pay attention to what you're already eating. Everybody's different, so we kind of customize it. And like, say someone drinks coffee every morning, we could maybe cut back on coffee a little bit, or maybe cut out coffee if you want. We like to cut out sodas, sugary things, processed foods, and try to stick to our whole foods. And also having cooked foods is really important. So especially when you're in the cleanse, you want to be having every meal cooked, even your vegetables. So like the real the real goal in this cleanse is to make it really easy for your body to digest. And having cooked foods, it kind of breaks down the food a little bit. So your body, it doesn't have to work as hard to break it down. It can optimize those nutrients and put them where they need to go. And so you're going to have these cooked meals, and we also want to spice them well. And spices, think like cumin, cinnamon, coriander, fennel, things like that, ginger, different spices like that actually have very important roles in breaking down the food and helping you utilize it the best you can. There's a lot of foods like cumin is a carminative, so it like cuts down on the amount of gas and just helps you digest better. So we talk about that, spicing the foods well. We'll talk about like what exactly you can eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and how some body types are different than others. So some things might be better than others. And then, so there's 4 parts of this cleanse. It's the pre-cleanse where you're like being aware of everything. And then you get your plan going of what you want your cleanse to look like. I usually do tell people for the first time to do a 3-day cleanse. So that 3-day cleanse would consist of your pre-cleanse, you're eating well-cooked foods at the same times. I have like a daily routine that you would follow in the morning, things like tongue scraping, drinking warm water, things like that. And then your second day is a mono diet. So a mono diet is eating the same thing for the 3 meals. And usually, traditionally in Ayurveda, it's a dish called khichdi. And khichdi is mung beans, which is like a type of lentil. Split yellow mung beans are the best. If you don't have access to that, we could use like other lentils or even quinoa or different grains. And so it's the lentils, and then it's our mung beans, and then it's any like cooked vegetables that can go in it. Seasonal vegetables, like coming up in the spring, we could put like, kale's going to be ready. We could do radishes, even squash, or some things that we can put in carrots. I know we can put that in there. You don't want to put things like onion or garlic in there because those are a little harder to digest. And then the other thing is basmati rice. And so that's khichdi. It's your your mung beans, rice, and vegetables, spices, and then ghee is really important. If someone was a vegetarian, they don't do ghee, then we could do like coconut oil would be good. But all that is really important to have as your meal in the mono diets because the mung beans have like a scraping action. So they like go through the body, the digestive system, and they scrape out this gunk that uh, it like builds up in the body through the winter and just having like, I don't know, like a more poor diet, you might have more buildup in the body. This is called ama in Ayurveda. So that's what we're trying to, help the body pass. And these mung beans have the scraping action that kind of scrapes the walls of the digestive system. And then the rice has, really good nutrients. It's uh, really nutritious. And then the vegetables too, they're going to have their nutrients and vitamins and everything that you need. So it's not a diet of like restriction or taking things away. You're not starving yourself. You can eat as much khichdi as you want, just as long as it's at these certain times. So it's important to have them at these certain times also. Even throughout, your daily life, you should really eat at these certain times that Ayurveda says, because it's the optimal time to eat. So say if you ate something at like 11 and then you turn around and ate something at 1, so that's only 2 hours. Your first meal's not digested fully, and then you're piling food on top of that. That actually creates that gunk in the body because it's working with two different things there. You want to optimize that fire going on in the gut by feeding it certain time, let it finish, and then you can have your other meals. So yeah, all this timing and stuff there's lots of different, I don't want to call them rules, but like guidelines. And you don't have to like deprive yourself of anything. You can do it as easy as you want. You can get as into it as you want to. I mean, you could really like, uh, you know, you could go for longer than 3 days too. You could do 7 days. They actually do up to 21 days for some cleanses. And this place in India that I went to, it's an Ayurvedic hospital. And so a lot of people will come there with an illness and they come up with a plan, and you stay at this hospital and they feed you like khichdi and things. And then you're doing these different procedures to the body where they're using like herbal preparations over the body, and just they have you do yoga and meditation and journaling, things like that daily. So you could really do a real cleanse like that, but I like to just take it easy and just introduce people, baby steps, start with 3 days. But if anyone has any questions and they want to just ask me how to get started, I'll help you get started. But if anyone wants to work with me and like really track it, we can work something out with that too. But yeah,
So, will your cleanses differ between winter and spring, or will it be the same concept?
it's the same concept, but there is different things because so the Vata Pitta Kapha. I said I wasn't going to get into this, but I will.
That's what
So,
we want. You go ahead.
okay. So the Vata, you can just think of like air. It's like it has to do with the elements. So Vata is kind of like air. Pitta is fire, and then Kapha is like earth and water, like muddy. So right now it's Kapha season, so there's Kapha going on out there. So we've got more Kapha in the body, and how Kapha looks in the body is like uh, congestion. Like a lot of people, as we switch into the spring, will have a lot of like mucus and congestion, allergies. That's
Mhm.
kapha. Heaviness in the body. Maybe you gain weight, just dullness of the mind, feeling lethargic. Like we're trying to help kapha clear out. So that's the main focus in the spring. In the fall, the other cleanse, we have a lot of pitta build up. So we have a lot of heat in our body build up. So in that one, we would help the heat escape. So you want to get the heat out, or you carry that into fall and you're going to have issues in the fall, like uh, skin rashes or like dryness and dry skin,
Makes sense.
things like that.
Okay.
So yeah, it's different. And then it's also like what's in season and stuff. And it's not just the diet. Like you can do spiritual practices too. like, I mean, you don't have to call it spiritual, but like journaling. You could pray over your food before you eat, just like being thankful for your food. There's also a lot of like recommendations about just eating in general. Like cooking for yourself is really good because you get to put more of your intention into it, your own energy, especially when it's food from your backyard or people you know, um, farmers markets and things. There's more intention in it. You want to sit when you're eating. That helps you digest better. You don't want to stand up and walk around when you're eating. You want to plant both feet on the ground. You don't want to be on your phone distracted. You want to be with your food. You want to use your five senses, touching, tasting, smelling, and that helps you it helps you digest better.
Yep.
And then you eat until you're full, and that helps you just like listening to your body, so you're like not on your phone just like putting it back, you're really
Mindless.
to your body. Yeah. And you feel the fullness, and you kind of get an idea of when you're full. And then after eating, it's a really good idea to walk. So walking 100 steps, I've heard this recently in little articles. It's called a fart walk.
Seen
So
that
after
too.
you eat, you do a fart walk. That's an Ayurvedic thing. There's
Yeah.
lots of Ayurvedic things that we already do. We just don't realize that they're Ayurvedic. But yeah,
Well,
they
and
say
they're called a different thing. That they're called a different thing, but they're originated probably from Ayurveda. It
yeah,
was just pulled into a different
you'd
element.
be
So,
surprised a lot. Yeah.
mhm.
But yeah, the 100 steps is it works with peristalsis, so it helps the food move down. So getting those steps in. Another thing you can help with digestion is there's yoga poses. So sitting on your knees. Have you ever seen that pose? You're just like sitting on legs folded, and you're just sitting on your knees. That's
Mhm.
called hero pose, and that actually helps with that digestion too. It like has this downward pull to it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's lots of other tips and tricks too, but
You mentioned tongue scraping
tongue
before.
scraping.
So, what exactly does that do?
Tongue scraping. Okay, so back to the ama that we were talking about. So ama is this, toxic sludge that can build up in the body. It starts in the digestive system, but then it moves. So it starts there, and then it moves to the different tissues. So it can go to our lymph, then our blood, then our muscles, then our fat, then our bones, then our joints. Yeah,
Goodness.
it has this whole process. But anyways, so it starts in the gut. You can have it anywhere in the body, really. But ama, you can think of it like this, like sticky, white, even substance. And that's some people have that on their tongue. So if you stick your tongue out and there's a white coating on it, that is ama. If it
Hmm.
has more of a yellow tint to it, that's actually means you have pitta in your ama. So we can tell a lot by just looking at someone's tongue. That's actually one of the things as Ayurvedic practitioners we do is have people stick their tongue out, and we do that each session so we can see how it changes. But we call that the window to our digestive system. And that is something that I tell people when you start tongue scraping is just build a rapport in the mirror with your tongue. So first, look at your tongue. Before you get up and drink anything, you want to look at your tongue, see what it looks like, if there's any kind of coating there. That whiteness is ama. And before you brush your teeth, before you drink water, because that drinking the water would just put it back in there. And actually, so our body is working hard at night while we're sleeping, like a liver is working, and it's helping just like metabolize, and it gets rid of some of the ama and it puts it on the tongue. So that's our job to help it get off there in the morning. So you just scrape a few times. You want to scrape at least 7 times. And you might even see this like uh, sticky material come off, and you rinse that off, and then you can brush your teeth after that. So that's why
Interesting.
you want to do it. It gets rid of the bacteria, it gets rid of the ama, and it stimulates all the internal organs. So it kind of like how reflexology works, like how the foot has different points, like your heart, liver,
Hmm.
spleen, all that. If there's spots on your tongue, like that shows you each organ. So that stimulates all that. It gets that your digestion ready. And that's what we want to do in the morning is scrape the tongue, get everything clean. That starts to kindle the agni. So agni is our digestive fire. That's the word that we use. It means fire. So we want to start kindling that with the scraping. And then the first thing you want to do after brushing your teeth is start drinking warm water.
Okay. And why warm water?
Warm water, it like liquefies things. So it like warms things up. It starts to kindle that fire. And then it just, drinking warm water throughout the day helps move things down. So it's, I mean, it
So really, we shouldn't be drinking ice water then.
never,
Never. Okay.
never
See,
ice
that's
water.
good for me because I don't like cold water at all. My husband thinks I'm crazy and I
Yep.
don't like it. I would rather all of my drinks be room temperature. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, that's interesting. So, why not? Why shouldn't we have ice water? What does it do to us?
It dampens that fire. So it like
Okay.
puts it out. Like this fire, you can think of it as like a campfire. You're giving it cold water. Your body has to work to heat yourself back up to where it was and then start from there. But if you start with that warm water, you're working with the body and it
Okay.
works with digestion. So yeah, when I'm working with clients and stuff, some people like their ice water, so I allow them to do that. It's not like you can't do it, but I'll try to be like, can you drink room temperature water? So like my daughter who is just here, like I'm trying to work with her to drink more water because she had a kidney stone. So she hates water, loves Dr. Pepper,
Uh-oh.
but we're working with, okay, can you drink a little bit of just room temperature water in the morning? And she's working with me with that. So yes, we drink water in the morning, whether it's, just bedside water. I mean, room temp water, that's fine. But work your way up to warm water and always just plain water. I used to think it was like you had to put lemon or something in it, but warm water is just fine. I get this Yeti cup in the morning. I put boiling water in it, and then I put a little bit of like room temp water in it. So it's like it lasts me all day, stays warm. So I'm drinking that all day at work. But you can also have, your herbal teas and stuff too once you have that water. And it
Okay.
hydrates you. Because when we're sleeping, we get a little bit dehydrated. Um, yeah, we get dehydrated when we're sleeping. We lose a lot of moisture, especially people that breathe with their mouth open at night or snore. So yeah, getting rehydrated is really important. Dinacharya is what we call our daily routine, and Dinacharya just means daily routine. And so tongue scrape, drinking the warm water. They like you to do your movement, a little bit of movement to get kapha moving. The Vata Pitta kapha, there's different seasons where it shows up, like kapha's winter, pitta summer, vata fall, but there's different times of day where dosha is dominant. So kapha is like in the morning from like 6 to 10, and then like 10 to 2 is pitta. That's the best time to eat your lunch because you can digest the best with that fire and the sun energy. And then after that, it's vata. So 2 to 6 is vata. So we get a little scatterbrain in the afternoon, things like that. But really, the best time to exercise is in the morning from 6 to 10, anywhere between there. And I really don't have that much time to exercise in the morning. So when I'm boiling my water, Noelle taught you guys last week the big six lymph here, armpits here. So I do that in the morning, and then I just kind of like shake or move my body and just, I mean, that's enough. Just like kind of getting things moving. And that's all it does is get your lymph moving around. What did I hear the other day? Oh, so your blood carries the nutrients to your cells and the lymph takes the waste away. So I like that analogy because that's what it is. Yeah. So it's good to get moving in the morning. I mean, even if you can't do your exercise, then just do some kind of movement, just whatever. Arms in the air, do a forward fold, I mean. And then after that, that's when you should do your small breakfast. And if
So
you
you
drink
should have
coffee,
a small breakfast, big lunch, and small supper.
yep.
That's how it should be. It should be peaked in the day, during the day. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say hard and fast rules. Some people work third shift. I mean,
Yeah.
we have all, you know, we work with what we can, what we have.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So does anybody have any questions? This is really awesome, Kacy. I'm almost overwhelmed with your info, which is
I know
great. That's
it's getting
awesome. No,
crazy.
no, no. No, I
talk and talk.
want yeah, this is great though, because I mean, this is interesting. And actually, it kind of has opened my eyes because that is, seems like it's more of the original medicine. Like that's all of this other medicine, Western medicine and other types of medicine is pulling off of Ayurveda. I mean, because the practices that I do in coaching, a lot of what you said is what I do as well. So
Yeah, I mean, it's not that it's Ayurveda, it's just that it's nature. It's what's going on.
yeah,
It is.
it's
So
the
we just got
original. So,
to pay attention and work with that.
yeah, that makes sense.
So,
So,
my main thing is like these cleanses are not like you're not depriving yourself, you're not fasting, you're not drinking a bunch of juice, you're
yeah,
feeding
it's not
yourself.
harsh.
Yeah, it's not harsh at all. Yeah.
So, and you said the 21 day is like the longest cleanse. So there's never like a fasting moment, like you should not eat for, like fasting. Is that go with the seasons? Because you said, don't eat after sun. Our days are shorter. So that would be kind of a fast in a way. And the
Yeah.
days are longer in the summer. So,
Yeah, don't eat from 6 to 6 in the winter time. That's
okay.
12 hours fast, I guess.
Okay. I know
Yeah.
they do, some people do extreme fast, I'm not a fan of extreme fast like that because I don't think that, I think it's hard on our body.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if that was any part of your practice as far as like
So
fasting.
I think it can be even harder on women just because our
Yeah.
hormone thyroid balance. But if you do a cleanse, Ayurveda does acknowledge cleanses, but they're more of like a spiritual cleanse. Like they have a water fast where you only drink water through the day. It's not good for Vata people or Pitta people to do. Kapha people are better at this because they have more body mass. They're thicker already, so they can handle that. A Vata person is more like skinny, just smaller frame, so they can't really handle just water. They
Hmm.
do fruit fasts, and there's certain fruits for each dosha. So like I don't know, like mangoes would be something for a Vata person because they're thick, sweet, dense, juicy. It wouldn't be good for a Kapha person because that's their, you know, that would cause more Kapha in their body, if that makes sense.
So
But
really,
yeah,
we just need to come to you and figure out what body type we are, and then you can help us figure out what exactly it is we need to eat, right?
I mean, yeah, I think I will just have little, you know, like a dosha evaluation where I can tell you what your
Yeah.
dosha is. There's all these quizzes and stuff online that you can do, but there's two aspects of the dosha too. There's like what your dosha is naturally, like what your makeup is, and then there's also what's out of balance in you. So there's like the quizzes online can't help you really decipher that. So it is better to have an Ayurvedic practitioner or coach or somebody
Yeah.
that you can talk to and help you decide. Before I did this Ayurveda school, I always thought I was a Pitta Kapha from these quizzes and what I thought. But after doing the class, I learned that I'm a Pitta Vata. So there's a big difference.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So does anybody else have anything for Kacy? I know you guys have some questions. I can't be the only one. Okay, well, I guess we are going to wrap it up. Do you have anything else to share with us, Kacy?
Um, no, not right now. Just,
Any helpful
I mean,
tips?
I hope you guys kind of grasp the cleanse thing. And if you can do it on your own, just be as simple as cleaning up your diet a little bit, as like, getting rid of the sodas and sugary and, processed meats, maybe even cut out meat for a little while if you want, just because meats are heavier, harder to digest. And then you just want to lighten it up and give your body foods that's easy to digest, that are warm, cooked, and well spiced. So anybody can do that. I mean, you just do it for a few days. And I guess I never really talked about the 4 phases too. So it's the preparation where you're lightening up. And then that first day you can eat like a simple soup or something, like a vegetable soup where you're eating certain times. You can have oatmeal for breakfast or whatever for breakfast, and then your soup, for lunch and dinner. And then khichdi is going to be your mono diet for one day. That's your middle day. And I mean, even if you can't do khichdi, just some kind of soup with like a grain and a bean, some kind of protein that, lentils are a protein and we cut out the meat. So we're getting our protein there and all your nutrients from those vegetables that you choose. And then so you want to eat that for the full day. And then that third day is transition. So you're going to start to do like the vegetable soup again, maybe. And then when you start to actually introduce your soda or cheeseburgers back, don't do it that day. Wait down the line. Don't go out. Say you do your 3-day cleanse. Don't go get a cheeseburger the next day. You want to transition. So that's your third phase is transitioning. You want to transition slowly. Like, okay, I cut all these things out. So now I'm going to have maybe some eggs, and then I could have some shrimp, start slowly introducing those. And then the fourth phase is your rejuvenation phase. And that is the 2 weeks following your cleanse. And you want to have really nutritious foods where you're like building your energy back. Once you clear all that out, you want to build back strong. So you want to have some really good foods like, uh, I mean, geese, honeys, uh, dates are really good. Nutritious foods, sesame seeds. There's a big list of foods that escapes me right now that I could be naming off, but there's lots of good foods. There's different Ayurvedic rasayanas, which are mixtures of foods, like different spices and things. Like I made a rasayana this winter that was toasted sesame seeds and ghee and jaggery. So I mixed that all up, and so it makes like a kind of like a paste. But I ate that in the mornings through winter, and that sesame seeds are really, really good for your bones. So it builds your bones in the winter. So that's the best time to eat that because it's really good for your bones. But there's other ones for spring too. Yeah, just mainly so you're doing it on your own. You could just try to have nutritious foods that you wouldn't normally eat, like maybe, okay, I'm gonna buy some kale and eat it. Eat the bag of kale this week, or get your carrots and just try to think of nutrients like that. Just what vegetables can I add? What can I add to my diet? So it's not taking away. It's like what can I add? What kind of nutrients can I build myself with? So yeah, I think anybody could do that. Oh, yeah. Oh, I was gonna say you're
There we
muted.
go. I completely agree. I think anybody can add a few vegetables and nutrient dense foods here and there to your meal to just spice it up a little bit. Try something new every week at the grocery store, especially, starting in
Yeah.
spring. We're going to have all kinds of new produce coming in. So,
Yeah, just pay
okay.
attention to the grocery shelves too. That's
Yeah. Kind of see what's coming in season and everything.
exactly.
So, okay. Well, I did put your website in the chat for anybody. I also added Kacy's Facebook and Instagram pages so that way you can get a hold of her if you're interested in any more Ayurvedic medicine or practices that she has to offer. I look forward to talking to you a lot more about this because this is interesting to me. I absolutely love it. So,
Oh, there's lots
hopefully,
more we could talk about.
well, hopefully you'll come back and we'll do this again. Now, next week, I will not be here. I am taking a trip to Florida, so I'm flying
Heck
the
yeah.
coop and getting out of this cold weather.
Yes, yeah, that's awesome. See, maybe you can go have some oranges and
Yeah, exactly. I'll bring some home for y'all.
vitamin D.
But hopefully, the next following week on Tuesday, I am planning on having another special guest. I have not got a confirmation for sure. She is a spiritual medium and a life coach. So
Oh,
her name is Melba. So I look forward to having her on if I can get her locked down. So make sure that you check the website and the Facebook page to RSVP to that. So anyway, other than that, if y'all don't have any other questions for Miss Kacy, again, I'm glad that you came and look forward to having you again.
thanks. Have a
All
good night,
right.
y'all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.